Welcome to On The Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Good, Dave.
Good to be back, mate. We missed the autumn, but we're back for a shortened spring. But this weekend there's Group 1s on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So we're back to go through a big weekend of racing, mate. So let's get stuck into it, because there's a bit to get through tonight. So the Group 1 Moir Stakes, $500,000 over 1,000 metres at Moonee Valley starts off the weekend on Friday night, mate. Rails surprisingly in the 4 metres out for the entire circuit. And rated a good 4. So what do you think, mate?
Geez, it's a big field with a ton of speed.
Yeah.
So I like 2 horses in it. Both have drawn out. That's Voodoo Lad and Malaguera. Voodoo Lad, I thought, performed well in a few Group 1 races like the TJ and Newmarket. He's 2 from 2 at this track, and I think he's going to really appreciate the hot speed. I think he's a really good price at $17, and I've got him on top. Malaguera, if he had drawn a couple of spots further in, I think he would have been pretty hard to beat himself. He's 5 from 6 fresh, and he trialled real well the other day, and he's a good price at $12 as well. He'll be thereabouts with even luck, but so those 2. But yeah, I'd hope Malaguera won instead of Voodoo Lad, but I'll have him on top.
I'm sure you do. Yeah, the barrier's made it hard for him. Terrific speed in the race, as you said. It's not for the faint-hearted. I'm just tipping a bit of an upset in this race based on the race shape. I just thought from Scheidel looks like the likely leader. She's got the blinkers on as well tomorrow, so she'll definitely go really hard in front. I just thought Fartnar will get a nice run here from barrier 1, right behind the speed. He'll kick up, hold his position. Scheidel make all the running, and they raced against each other in the Oakley Plate, and I rewatched that race. Ben Allen was on him that day in the Oakley Plate. He ranged up to Scheidel to win the race. I just think he pulled the trigger a little bit early. So this time, I think he'll just smoke the pipe until the corner and then peel off the heels and kick for home. He's a winner of 3 from 4 first up. He had a very quick jump out at Flemington 2 weeks ago. I just think he's got good condition going into this. I think he can win it with, sort of ranging up behind the lead. Regan Bayless goes on, so I think that's a better jockey change for him. And he's $31 each way. I thought he was great each way odds. I thought the horse to beat was Russian Revolution. Drawn out slightly, but should get actually a nice card across with Headley drawn inside him. That'll go to the sit outside Scheidel, I expect. I expect him to be sitting 1 or 2 back, probably 1 pair in front of She Will Rain, ready to pounce, and with Hugh Bowman to ride him, should be storming home down the middle of the track. I wouldn't mind going in the Quinella with those. I do like Voodoo Lad as well. I thought he was a bit of a chance. I did think barrier was a bit of a problem for him as well, making ground to those ones who were going to hug the rail. But good race, the Moir Stakes this year. Really good addition.
It is.
Saturday, Group 1s are at Randwick. The first one is the Flight Stakes for 3-year-old fillies over 1,600 metres.
Dave, I like Alizé. Form on the board, beating the Golden Rose runner-up and Champagne Cuddles at the last start. I think that's a pretty good form reference for this. I think the step up to a mile really suits, and Joan Cummings is doing a really good job at Godolphin. And you can really follow their horses with confidence. He places them well, and I think obviously Darren Beedman's got a bit to do with all of that as well. So I thought the 420 on offer was a good price.
Is she 420? I thought she was a bit shorter than that.
But that was the last time I checked, which is about an hour ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, best price.
Champagne Cuddles for me. Has had a lot of tough racing of late, but I just thought 2 starts ago when Alizé beat her, they raced on the pace that day when she's actually run her best races when she's gone out the back and sprinted home, which she did last week. They rode her quiet in the Golden Rose last week, and she flashed home. She even beat Minari home for second. She was a long way from the winner, but she was a huge run against the Colts last week. I just thought back against the fillies, they've got to ride a cold because she's drawn the outside barrier. Alizé's just on the inside. They'll probably ride both of them fairly cold. And I just think she'd relish the 1,600 with the big Randwick straight. I just thought she would win this. and she was about $4. I don't know if she's tightened up, but I thought she was on the bit in that. So there's obviously between those two, they've pretty much got the race between them. The next up is the $750,000 Metropolitan Handicap over 2,400 metres, mate. What did you like in the Metro?
Pretty even field, Dave. I was going to stick with Darren Ware's runner, Big Duke, horse that I've followed a little bit. Stepping up to the 1.5 mile here, which is after 3 good fitness runs. He's won at the track, and he's two wins from 3 starts at the trip in stakes level. He's a pretty high class sort of horse, and he should get a lovely run from the gate. And he's $6, so I thought he was pretty good money on the bit for mine.
Yep, a lot of money here for a race that's okay, but I didn't think it was as strong as it has been in years past when it was really a key lead up to the Cups. But Magic Man's in town, mate, yes. And he jumps aboard Antonio Giuseppe. I thought he might have been just a run short last start. He loomed up to win, but he was just out-sprinted by Libran 2 weeks ago. I think he's probably been aimed at this, and he's a real lightweight chance in the Caulfield Cup. I think he's only got 52.5, if I recall. So I thought he'd be right in the finish here, and at the $5, I thought he was on the bit. Definitely the danger is Big Duke. He's on a similar path, and he's been doing his early racing in Melbourne. I'm sure they've just conditioned him up to get ready for the big races in October, so I wouldn't really worry about where he's finished. He's just been getting fit. He's got the services of Abdallah, and he's actually run well at Randwick before in the autumn, so I thought that $6 was good. I thought you could back them both to win, yep, and win on the race, and I actually thought it was one of the better Quinella bets of the day, so Quinella should pay about $20 between them, and I thought it was worth a go. Feature race of the day at Randwick is the $1 million Epsom Handicap over 1,600, mate. And who do you like in the Epsom?
Well, the horse that I like might not run, Dave. Egg Tart.
Yeah. I think she is very, very doubtful. Yep.
Yeah, very doubtful with an eye condition. So that's who I did my form on. It's a mare that I've really followed through. But, well, in saying following through, I'll say coming through for Marrera. Yeah. That will be my backup selection. So, yeah, that's the one for me, Dave. But if Egg Tart runs, they've got huge wraps on her. First up run was good, and she's a pretty high class mare.
Yeah, I thought Egg Tart was a moral in this Epsom after her first up run. When I saw the run, I just said Epsom written all over her. She was out the back, really made it to the line. She's come up with this eye complaint. She's only got 51 kilos in this race. Drops 4 kilos from her first up run. Listen, if they run her, I still back her because obviously she'd be fit enough to run, but I have heard today that she's very, very doubtful now. And I thought the 1,600 metres at Randwick was right up her alley. She's out to $5, probably because more about the fact that the doubt over her. But I thought Happy Clapper, other than that, was definitely the horse they have to beat. He's just a warrior. This horse just turns up campaign after campaign. He's so consistent. He has to give him more weight, but he actually, with a limit of only 57, the top weight, he's actually not bad in at the weights because he's used to carrying 59. His first 2 runs this spring have been terrific. Wicks was the only one who could beat him last start, and they actually left the rest of the field in their wake. So he's been heavily backed this week, and probably without Egg Tart in the race looks really hard to beat for mine. Then we go to Sunday, mate, the day after the grand final. There was a big meeting at Caulfield, and there's 2 Group 1s. And the first one is the Underwood Stakes, weight for age over 1,800 metres. And who do you like in the Underwood, mate?
Didn't do any form on the Underwood.
No? Well, there's not a lot in it.
That's Hartnell's race.
Yeah, it is. There's not a lot in it. Hartnell's probably short price favourite. He was beaten last start.
It was a pretty hot tempo that he was.
It was.
Yeah.
And I still thought he ran really well because I thought they had every chance to beat him, Blackheart Bart and Galio Chop. But they didn't beat him that day either. I mean, Humidor went past him, but Humidor's not in this race. And I thought he was challenged to the 200, so he was there to get beat. But I just thought he'd have a much better run on Saturday. There's hardly much pace in this race on Sunday. McAvoy goes on. I think he's a good jockey. Rates these horses, these middle distance horses, beautifully. He's got beautiful hands. He's about $1.90, but I'm going to back up again and make him on the bid as well. The big Group 1 for Sunday. is the $500,000 Rupert Clark Stakes over 1,400 metres, mate. And who do you like in the Rupert Clark?
A lot of depth, Dave. Again, like the Moore, two horses, and obviously torn with Mr. Sneaky because the interest is there. Scales of Justice is obviously a high-class galloper. From WA. I thought his run at Flemington was outstanding, especially when he was ducking in behind Redkirk Warrior. I think as this horse goes up in distance, especially a race like the Toorak is going to suit down to the ground, but I think he still would be a horse to beat on Sunday. Mr. Sneaky's obviously a great lightweight chance. He's been ultra consistent, very genuine horse, and gets him with a great weight. Drawn a really good barrier, and with these big handicaps like this, horses down in the weights like that are making their way up, horses that tend to figure in the finish, and I would think Mr. Sneaky's a great price at the $8 as well. I would have Scales of Justice on top at the $4, but hoping that Mr. Sneaky gets the chocolates for you, Dream Thoroughbreds.
Thanks, mate. Yes, big thrill for us to have our first runner, a Group 1 runner in the Dream Silks. Really deep race this, one of the better editions of the Rupert Clark in the last 10 years. I too thought Scales of Justice was an eye-catcher last start down the straight against Redkirk Warrior. I don't think the straight really suited him. He was obviously very wayward in the run, but around the bend, 1400, I think is going to really suit him. There's very strong pace in this race, so he's drawn to get a really gun run in transit. So I do think he is the horse they all have to beat. I actually don't think Mr. Sneaky's really that well off on weights, only because there's about 10 horses on 52 here, and he's one of the lower rated horses. So the squash down in the handicap actually gives a horse like Scales of Justice a bit of an advantage, I feel, because he's already a Group 1 winner. But, you know, obviously key points for Mr. Sneaky is he's unbeaten at Caulfield. He's drawn a great barrier to get a beautiful run in midfield. There's strong pacer out, which is what he needs. He'll sit about 3 or 4 lengths off them, and yeah, we've got B of Dollar on, and he's ready to win, basically. You can get actually about $10 now, I think, so he's pretty good value, and he's an each way bet for us. Stable news, Lenny?
Stable news. Had a really good weekend last weekend for Bluegrass Bloodstock with two Pete Galligatis trained runners, Mossendale, which is a homebred, and he won his 8th race and took his earnings to nearly $250,000. And he's had a couple of issues, Mossendale, and I think we've ironed them out, and he's going to go to bigger and better things. The Willoughby was a private purchase stone horse, and he's really come on. And last night I had Earl Da Vinci for the Brunton camp. He had his first start in Australia, and he duly saluted by nearly 3 lengths. And from the mail from the camp is that he's every bit as good as Count Da Vinci. So yeah, pretty. And
Count Da Vinci runs on Sunday?
Count Da Vinci runs on Sunday, and he'll go extremely well.
Obviously we've got Mr. Sneaky running, as I mentioned. Yeah, as I said, big thrill to even have a Group 1 runner, and one with a bit of a chance, which is even bigger thrill. With Dollar on, we lose nothing as an experience from a jockey, and loves Caulfield. His three-quarter brother, Mr. So-and-so, by So You Think, goes around at Benalla tomorrow on Friday in race 1. He's trialled really well, this guy. He's come back a lot better than he performed in his first prep. He was probably a little bit immature first prep. He's a big chance to break his maiden. He's opened up $8 on the fixed odds market, and yeah, even each way, he's a great bet. I think he's a big chance to win it. Cornelia was nominated for Chuka on Monday. Acceptances are not out until tomorrow. Expect her to improve a lot with the run under her belt. She's a sneaky chance to get in the money, actually, at very juicy odds, but at the moment she's very low down in the order of entry, so I can't tell you if she's actually running, but have a look at a Chuka on Monday. Your best on breeding, Lenny?
Race 5 at Caulfield, Dave, Catchy.
Yep.
She could have been on the bid special as well. She was a 220k purchase from the Australian Easter yearling sale by the champion sire, Fastnet Rock, who the last 6 months has just been everywhere. He's been doing a really good job. From the Group 2 winning Foopeg mare, and Cat's Whisker, who won the Group 2 Let's Elope over 1400, which is the same distance as the Guineas Prelude. So it gives you a bit of confidence that Catchy who looks a really good sprinter will get the 1400 and possibly the mile.
Yep, value bets, mate. I've got one value bet for the weekend. Caulfield on Sunday, race 4, number 1, Gardini. It's in Count Da Vinci's race. Gardini has been off the scene for a while. He was previously trained by the Freemans and won a Group 3 race in the 2016 autumn at Randwick. And suffered an injury not long after. He's had 2 runs back under Darren Weir's care now. Huge run last start that listed heavily over 1700. He's had 4 weeks between runs. He's got to carry the top weight, but he gets a soft run from barrier 1. I just think he's the best horse in the race, so I'm on him. He's about $8 each way on Sunday. I just thought he was great value. On the bit specials, Lenny, who you starting off the spring with?
Count Da Vinci, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was way over the odds last start. He was 70 to 1 and 11's a place, so I got a bit of that.
Race, yeah.
That was a 1400 against the Answer My Friend and Mrs. Sneaky, who are probably, potential Group 1 horses. This bloke's, competing against them over 1400, which is not his go. He's a stayer. I know he's come through the race extremely well, and looking at the map, I've studied this race pretty hard. I think he'll lead and he'll control the race, and the 1700 is going to suit, and he's $15. I think he's a great each way bet. He'll be right there in the money.
There's a big quinella there, I think. My on the bit special is Caulfield race 2, number 1 on Sunday, Snitty Kitty. She came a long way last prep, winning a listed race against Open Company at her last start. She's on a home track first up, barrier 6, pet distance 1100. Has informed Mark Zara aboard, plenty of ticks for mine. She does have to concede on weight, but at $4.80, I just thought she was on the bit for mine. Off the bit, Lenny, who we're laying for the weekend?
He might back there. It's normally what happens. Chautauqua, Dave. I loved his first up run. I thought it was great, but Chautauqua I think he's a 5-win horse from about 8 starts. First up, second up, he only's won 2 from 8. And I think second up, they would have taken him easy on him after his first up run, because they've got bigger fish to fry with the Everest. He's only $3.30. He's drawn barrier 3, which isn't ideal because he's a get back horse. So he's going to need a lot of things to go his way, and at that price, I think he's a big risk.
Yep, I think they're aiming it at the Everest as well. So I'm off the bit. I'm laying a big one on Sunday. I'm going to lay race 6, number 3, Royal Symphony. I just think he's striking the strongest race of his short career. He's drawn barrier 12. He's second up. He's never raced at Caulfield before. I just think there was enough there to say you've got to be a bit wary of his chances. His odds on, he's $1.80 or something. I just can't take that. In a field that's probably got some horses that are really looking for the 1400 as well. So this is really the Guineas prelude, so a lot of these horses will go into the Guineas as well. So I'm off the bit with Royal Symphony on Sunday. So big weekend of footy. It's grand final weekend. So